Hey guys, Keegan here, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing something a lot different than what I normally do. Um, so, most of my content is focused around Fortnite, and this video is also focused around Fortnite, but it's a very different concept, the topic, sorry. So, in my latest video, well, not latest, but in a video that I released recently, I mentioned in it that I might be going into a video about, explaining opinions about Fortnite Chapter 2 and stuff like that. But I realize now that it's very important. Well, no. So, through rumors, it is speculated that Season 8 is probably like 99% going to be the last season of Chapter 2. And as such, I believe that it would probably be important, at least for myself, to look over like the entirety of, you know, Fortnite in general and like see how everything compares in chapter 2 to how it did back in like chapter 1. And so I just clicked something on the thing that I'm going to be doing this on and it freaking slows it down severely. Well, that happened. You'll see. So, basically, I set up this little quiz thing. So what it is basically, okay, wait, please stop. I don't want to edit it anymore. I wanted to remember how much I had set for all this. Basically, if it like allows me to do it after what I just did, every time I've clicked edit, it's made it go slower and slower. That's the first time I've had to click wait 3 times. But yeah, basically, every single one of these is assigned a point value, and chapter 1 is the answer. Okay, there we go, finally. See this one? Map changes. Points 30, chapter 1, correct, chapter 2, incorrect. Now, the reason I'm doing that is so that in the end, the side that it's most towards will be the side that is, the victor in which one is the better chapter. And if I feel like the results should provide something different, then I will speak my mind, although you will see what the thing provides. Now, all of these do have like different point values because freaking weapons compared to, the freaking map in general. I feel like this should say maps, but I'll get on with that onto that. Oh no. Okay. This one is supposed to say final season. I'll get to that. So I'll get to it as I go on. But basically, all of these have different point values. Things that are more important, or what I believe to be more important, have higher point values. So I should be able to just click this and start the quiz. Okay. Let me zoom in actually. There we go. So, starting it up, the maps. Honestly, this is a tough one because if we went back over every Fortnite map, I think we all, or just the map in general, I think we all believe the Chapter 1 map to be better. In fact, like in my mind, I want to say, oh yeah, Fortnite Chapter 1 map was better. The thing is, the map wasn't even like. It was like 3/4 of a map until Chapter 1, Season 7. Because like the entire bottom left portion of it wasn't really a thing back then. So even then, like when we think of the Fortnite map, I believe most of our minds go from Chapter 1, Season 7 onwards. Yet the Chapter 1 map was honestly like Chapter 1, Season 5 and before. Maybe Chapter 1, Season 6 included, because that one didn't have too much of a difference from Chapter 1, Season 5. And that is a very different picture from the later seasons, which influences the next thing, which you can see. But yeah, In that map, first of all, it was small in comparison to the map we have now. That's a minus straight away. And I'm not talking about POIs or anything like that. I'm just talking about the map, its shape, everything about it. The map was basic. You have to admit that. It was a very basic map. It didn't have all that much personality. There was like mountains in some places, three rivers, and yeah. Eventually, we did get a bunch of different biomes, which definitely adds to chapter 1. But I feel like I should be having music in the background or something. You know what? After this, I'll try and find some music to put in the background. But yeah, chapter 1, it did have biomes, and a bunch of them at that, which definitely improved the map. But then think back to the, like, not back, but think to the map of chapter 2, and you realize how much more personality it has. It had islands in the top right, has like tons of different rivers all across the map, a big lake in the bottom, like bottom middle, and then had an island in the middle. It had multiple islands all over the map instead of just like one very small island. So that's like basically the details around the map were impressive. The map went higher than the other map, lower than the other map, had more rivers than. Okay, wait. Chapter 2 had higher points, lower points, more rivers, more islands, and almost everything about it, there was just more. So, you know what? I think this may just be me. I might have to give it to Chapter 2. And this is a big question, actually. This is 100 points. Everything else is like 30 or below. So, this is a really big question. And I have thought very deep about this. If you want to give your opinions in the comments, feel free to do that. Please give your opinions in the comments. I want to see your opinions to each of these questions. But overall, I do believe that the Chapter 2 map, although I say this a lot, is very lacking in constant and staying map changes, has got a lot more than the Chapter 1 map. Honestly, it feels weird saying that, but like I've been a freaking Chapter 1 fanboy, but it just has more. Everything about it is just more. And I don't think we appreciate that. Like, did the freaking Chapter 1 map ever have waterfalls? Like, it technically did, if you counted waterfalls to your death. But yeah, it had, like, the waterfalls that go off the map. Chapter 2 map has two legitimate waterfalls that you can interact with. And instead of freaking waterfalls going down into the freaking deadly water below, it's just calm little rivers that flow into the ocean. Overall, it feels a lot more like an actual island and a lot more than the Chapter 1 island in itself. So I do have to give it to Chapter 2. Map changes, I did just freaking mention this. No bias. I feel like Chapter 1 has to be a little bit better. Like, I'll think about it. I'm going to think about it. But, you know, every single season brought at least one major map change that lasts. Like, it lasts for at least, like, 5 seasons. Pleasant Park was there till, like, the very end of Fortnite, basically. I Lonely Lodge, if I remember correctly, didn't even change throughout the entirety of it. That's not really contributing to this. Sorry, but when the map change happened, it happened for a long time. Dusty Depot gets smashed by a meteor, it doesn't become Dusty Depot again the next season. It only became Dusty Depot in season 10, where time got wonky, which is the only real reason it came back. It could come back. Season 5, the entire bottom right became a desert and never changed back. Season 6, the Loot Lake POI got a ton more islands, and rock formations appeared in the center of the map, and those rocks remained, I believe, for the entirety of Chapter 1, and the islands also remained, although they did get dug up in Season 8. Getting to that. Season 7, entire ice biome, obviously. The glacier, whatever. It, something I didn't include in here was storyline, because it doesn't really impact. But yeah, it did have a lot of story changes. I'm a stay off story. Had a lot of changes throughout the seasons, and it's just really cool that they kept something so relevant no matter what. But yeah, Glacier there till the end. Even if it did get a bit broken, it stayed there. Season 8, jungle biome with a volcano. Entire area stayed rest of the chapter. Season 9 was the one that didn't have many lasting map changes. 2 places became futuristic, another place became a power plant. Oh wait, I forgot. Season 8, Loot Lake got dug up, and the big freaking metal vault appeared under it, and that stayed open until the end of the chapter. Okay, season 9. 2 futuristic POIs, which both got removed shortly after the season ended, and a power plant POI, which stayed till the end. That was most of the map changes that season. And then Season X, every place became Rift Zone. Everything changed. Every single POI. So yeah, Chapter 1 had tons of map changes. Chapter 2, we got 5 buildings in Chapter 2. In Season 2, sorry. 5 buildings in Season 2. I'm basing them from Season 1, like after Season 1, the changes that happened. So we got 5 new POIs. The next season, one of them was changed. No, 2 of them were changed. 2 of them were no, 3 of them were changed. 2 of them were destroyed. And then one of the POIs that was changed was slowly destroyed over the course of that time. But then another POI was added that was also removed right after the season ended. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was removed before the season ended. But yeah, I might be wrong about that. But yeah, now we had 2 places left: the yacht and the authority. Authority became the ruins. The yacht got removed. So the only thing we had from season 2 by season 4 was 2 POIs that were one POI that was severely damaged, 1 POI that was broken down, not damaged, but like worn out, and 1 POI that was completely gone. Like we only saw like the very basic remains of it. And then season 4 comes, and we get massive structures that appear. And then season 5 comes, they're all gone. Nothing happened in season 4. Nothing at all. That just doesn't matter to this. They happened, and they were actually pretty cool map changes. If we're talking about the coolness of the changes, Chapter 2 had some pretty cool map changes. The Marvel collaboration changes, those were cool, but they didn't last for long. Season 5, the entire Sandy area. We got 2 POIs. with one of them changing by both of them changing by next season. Both were completely different in the next season. Season 6 comes, those two POIs are completely different locations, and the middle became the Spire, which was gone by the next season. Also a new biome, which was gone by the next season. Season 7, the one POI changed, and that POI's been changing ever since. Overall, we have had map changes. I always say, like I've said a lot of times, that Chapter 1 just has more map changes, but we've had a lot of map changes in Chapter 2. And the thing is, it's just that they don't last. I'm not, okay, thinking about it, I'm not saying that Chapter 2 hasn't had map changes, or many map changes. What I'm saying is, it has had almost, like, very few lasting map changes. So, in lasting, Chapter 1 wins. So that brings it forward. In, coolness, it's almost a tie. How do you compare frickin' a quarter of the map becoming frozen over forever in comparison to a quarter of the map being crushed underneath a gigantic rock? So yeah, those are almost tied in coolness, which overall does bring map changes ahead in Chapter 1. They've had very equal map changes, it's just that Chapter 1s have lasted a lot longer. So yeah. The first seasons, I believe that this is an important one. Also, if you really want, timestamps for all this stuff, it'll be in the description if you just want to kind of skim through it. Actually, I think I'll do it in chapters. First season. I believe that a first season is very important. It brings forward impressions, and bad impressions, bad chapter. And both chapters had pretty good first seasons. Like, I might have to give this one to Chapter 2. Because the first season of Chapter 1, it was just, look at these, like, 8 locations that you have to explore. You have a place in the woods, downtown suburb, 2 of them, I believe. Anarchy Acres, that was a good location. I'll get into locations in the future. But yeah. Chapter 1 just didn't introduce as much as Chapter 2 did in the first season. Chapter 2 introduced an entirely new mechanic. Actually, no. Chapter 1 introduced an entire... I've spelled every single one of these wrong. I am so sorry. Wait a second. Have I spelled them wrong? Wait a second. No, I haven't. It just looks like it's spelled wrong. Okay. Sorry, guys. That was weird. Anyway. First season. Yeah. I'll keep a tab open in case I want to Google anything. Both of these introduced new mechanics to the Battle Royale genre. Chapter 1 introduced the entire building mechanic, destroying and building, which I'll have to get into that later. Chapter 2 added swimming, which is also pretty cool. But overall, I feel like Chapter 2 was a bit more wowing. With the better map in comparison, and also just how much progress Epic had made by that point, I feel like they were able to make a better first season for Chapter 2. Now, final season, this one's big. Comparing Chapter 1, Season X, to Chapter 2, Season 8. This one is a big problem because, like, there is a lot that you have to think through and a lot of biases that have to be, like, acknowledged but ignored. So, Chapter 1, first of all, after having all of its places set up and all that, had a ton of rift zones with very unique mechanics brought into the game. They brought around glitching potential. They brought around fun experiences that you would never get in Battle Royale otherwise. You could still go to a few POIs and get regular experiences as well. So it retained the classic feeling of Fortnite and brought around a bunch of cool things to do. Like the Borderlands area, that was pretty cool. Basically added in Siphon again, if I remember correctly. Oh no, you had shield gained if you were in the area and not taking damage. That was cool. It was really cool actually. The Batman area? Well, I don't remember the Batman area. I remember the Tilted Town area. I didn't play with Batman skin or the Batman area in general. But I do remember the Batman stuff was added, so that was cool. There was frickin' Greasy Grove that had taco time, Moisty Palms, Retail Row was brought back from Mega Mall. Of course, there was the 0 point. I'm trying to remember, were there any other? I have to Google this. Chapter 1 Season X map. Images. Close up. Oh yeah, the freaking meteor. That was important. That was like really big. Dusty being brought back, that was awesome. Yeah, see, Greasy Grove, Moisty Palms, Gotham, Pleasant, Block. The Block was really cool. That was like one of the coolest things about Chapter 1. I have to admit that. The Block, like being able to see people's creations in the world of Fortnite, not like in some offhand game mode, which isn't that offhand anymore. But back then it wasn't the biggest thing. Like it was big, but it wasn't the biggest. Battle Royale was still pretty big back then. Seeing what people built in Battle Royale, that was epic. So yeah, this was an amazing season. Introduced new mechanics, brought back fate like loved POIs from death. I have to acknowledge this now. Both have mechs, both have brutes, both suck. But yeah, overall, Season X was amazing. I just have to say that. Now, Season 8 of Chapter 2, how, like, the big difference it has over, well, not difference, it's just, overall, I have to give this one to Chapter 1. Chapter 1 brought out new mechanics, it brought back favored POIs, it did, like, all the good stuff that the people wanted, aside from X. Chapter 2 brought back the cubes, it did do that. And it did bring back the roll stuff, that was pretty fun, but I don't feel like it had the same. It's weird saying this. I don't feel like the cubes had the same charm as the season like the season 5 chapter 1 ones. Like I still believe that we all enjoyed watching them roll, but we're a different community now. As much as it hurts to say that, we are a very different community than we were in chapter 1. When before we would all, like almost every person on the game would see the cube, and like if any big YouTuber ever asked, "Hey, can you like stand below the cube?" Almost like everyone would be like, "Okay, I'm wondering what that'll do." And nowadays, it's like, "Hey, do you guys want to stand beneath the cube?" And they still get people. I just feel like a lot more people are like, "Nah, I want to grind arena." Nothing wrong against grinding arena. I'm just not a big arena kind of kid. But yeah, overall, chapter 2, aside from all the cube stuff, hasn't done much. It hasn't brought any like mechanics. If it had frickin' brought the same mechanics that chapter 1 brought, that would be a plus, like in its final season. But chapter 2, it brought the cubes and it brought crash sites. And that's mostly all that happened. I'm trying to keep this video not too long. Yeah, I just feel like chapter 1 has to take the final chapter part. Again, brought new mechanics, brought back POIs that everybody wanted back. It brought back things from throughout the chapter. It brought back the meteor. Um, I can't really see it on here, but it brought back Kevin. Both of no, chapter 1's better because chapter 2 brought back Kevin. Yeah, but so did chapter 1. Chapter 1 brought back Kevin at the very like close to the end. It brought back the floating cube island. So yeah, the only thing that it has is like the pyramid, which is it's a pretty decent POI. I'm not gonna say it's not. It's a pretty good POI. And the corruption idea, I like it. It's gonna change the map entirely before the end. Like before this season is over, the map is gonna be completely different. But overall, chapter 1, its final thing, it didn't rush changes. This one's like, oh, we have 2 weeks left in the entire chapter. Let's just change the map now. And sure, they are technically slow changes, but at the same time, it's a big, like, it's a faster change than we've ever really seen in Fortnite. We haven't really seen the map, like, completely change unless it's, like, season 7 of chapter 1 where the map gets covered in snow, which honestly that's like a yearly thing almost, except for frickin' season 5, which wasn't that good in my opinion. Battle Pass was good, the POIs were pretty decent, but yeah, chapter 1 was definitely better. POIs, this one is very heavily biased. Like it's very influenced by bias. If you like say that bias doesn't take any effect here, you're wrong. that's the truth. You're just wrong if you say bias doesn't affect this, because this is a big bias question. Like, which POIs do I prefer? Overall, I want to give this to chapter 1. I really do. We had Dusty Divot, no Depot, Dusty Depot. I mostly played season 4 to season 8. I only got to know it as Depot Divot. I can't get it right in my head. I think of one and I say the other. Anyway, we got Dusty Depot. We had Tilted. That was a very big fan favorite. I didn't go there because I was not able to live, but I know it was a very enjoyed location. We had Moisty Mire. Moisty Mire was loved before it got removed. That's why they brought it back. Like I said, final chapter brought back things that people wanted brought back. People loved Moisty Mire before it was removed, so they brought back Moisty Palms, or they brought it back as Moisty Palms. But yeah, Moisty Mire, awesome. Paradise Palms was still an amazing POI after the replacement. There's a bunch of smaller locations I want to add in, but the volcano and the glacier or the iceberg, those were two awesome locations. Greasy Grove, yes. I'm ignoring the ones that are across both maps because those both are equal to each other. We also had, I know that there's an also. It's just like on the back of my head and I can't think about it. I guess you could say Happy Hamlet. Happy Hamlet was a thing. People went there sometimes, but I'm not going to count that. But yeah, 7 really great POIs. Moisty Paradise, Tilted. I'm not counting the Moisty Palms. Yeah, Moisty Paradise, Tilted. Dusty. Iceberg. Volcano. Greasy. 7 great POIs that were fan favorites. Chapter 2, we have Holly Hedges, Lazy Lake. Those two I feel like people really enjoy. Holly Hedges and Lazy Lake. Weeping Woods. Weeping Woods is like eh. Same thing for Greasy. We had Slurpee. We had Slurpee. There was Coral. You have to admit that nobody really liked Coral except like the week it came out, the week or two it came out, maybe a bit of a shorter time. I won't take away a point or a good POI location point, I guess. Um, Caddy exists. Missy is a good POI. And that is a I'll include pressure not pressure plant. Steamy Stacks. I'll include Steamy Stacks. I know quite a few people have good opinions about it. Like people land there in tourneys. I see a bunch of YouTubers land there normally just as a POI. So I guess it's a pretty decent POI. A unique one with the freaking like stack stuff. Although it now that I think about it, it very closely relates to Pressure Plant, which was also like it had a similar idea, I guess. So, but yeah, that's like 6 POIs. And like I said, I'm not counting freaking pleasant, risky, or retail. I'm not counting those. They were across both maps. They were pluses for both, but they equal the same things on both, so they don't count. They don't matter in the long run. So, chapter 1 had 7 freaking dusty, tilted. Trying to remember, I have short term memory. Dusty, tilted, volcano, iceberg, greasy, paradise, moisty. 7. Chapter 2, I would say, had 6 very favorited POIs. And these ones are more like, eh. We had lazy, holly, misty, steamy, catty. What was the 6th one? Slurpee. So yes, I do have to give this one to chapter 1. It had more POIs that everyone liked. If I think about like back to the POIs that everybody liked, chapter 1 just had more. Gameplay. Chapter 2. I just have to say that chapter 2 is so much better a season or a chapter for gameplay than chapter 1 was. Chapter 1 did have the basics. It had building, reviving, it brought it around rebooting it like near the end. Chapter 2 has all of that, plus swimming, plus picking up people, plus shaking people down and getting like whereabouts and stuff like that. Also, for a short time, it had freaking vaults, which were a very unique gameplay mechanic. So yeah, definitely chapter 2. Chapter 2 is so much better gameplay wise. It just had so much more that wasn't actually trash. Weapons. This one's tricky because I don't remember the exact loot pool that was available in chapter 1 season X. That's chapter 2 season 1. I do remember that a lot of freaking loot was removed from the loot pool season X. And season 1 chapter 2. Wait, was the Kingsman umbrella? When was that released? That was chapter 2, right? Yeah. Well, let's check this side out. Outfits loot pool. Initial loot pool. We had pistols, revolvers, snipers, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, SMGs, pumps. Are these tax? Yeah, they're tax. I swear I saw a video. Wait. Whoa. The slow loading screen. Where would it be? I don't know the exact time frame it would have been in. But yeah. They added golden and purple tags. So I guess attacks weren't available? Overall, it's really confusing. I'm sorry, guys. I don't remember weapons all that much. But what I do have to say is that we have not had all that many, I'm saying that many, weapons in Chapter 2 that we haven't had in Chapter 1. We've had a few. I'm not going to say we haven't had any. We have gotten a few. We got like rusty cans, coal. Those are not good ones to mention. We did get, if you would consider it a weapon, a fishing rod. We also got harpoon guns. We got bows, not counting the boom bow. That was Chapter 1. We got a bunch of different bows, actually. We got alien weapons. Those were amazing. We got the new cube weapons. Those are pretty good. Overall, though, what I believe this comes down to is like which had weapons out like the most at a time. That's weird to say. Basically, Chapter 1 had almost every weapon in the game unvaulted that wasn't OP by Season X. Actually, you know what? No, if we're just talking about introducing weapons, Chapter 1 brought in like a new weapon every single freaking season. Right? Look. Initial loot pool. We had all that. Season 2, what did we get? We got boogie bombs, or an update to boogie bombs. Oh, that was vaulted Season 2, okay. We had campfires added. Those aren't weapons. We had miniguns, crossbows, shockwaves. Okay. C4, the heavy guns, guided rocket launchers, porta. Dude, this is just Chapter 1. There was so much more. Freaking porta forts, clingers. There was so much more unique weapons. Like, we have regular Battle Royale weapons right now in Chapter 2. Chapter 1, we had weapons that made Fortnite. I am lagging right now, I believe. If I am, I'm sorry. My webcam seems to be lagging a bit behind. Wait. Okay. Slightly lagging behind. This might be lagging. If it is, I'm sorry. Anyway, weapons. Chapter 1 just had more weapons that made Fortnite. Chapter 2 just has more weapons that makes it, you know. It's had weapons added, but it only had weapons added like Season 1 and then like Season 6 and on. If you're not counting the freaking superpowers that we got in Season 4. And Mythics, I'm not counting. I'm not counting rarity updates. Holy crap, this is a tough question, because when I think about it, we also got exotic weapons. Exotic weapons are such a unique change. But overall, I do believe Chapter 1 had more unique weapons, more fun weapons. That's a tough one, though. I have to say that this is a very close battle for Chapter 2. I would say, though, that Chapter 1 wins that. Vehicles. This is another tough one, actually. Chapter 1, we had a lot of meme-ish vehicles. Not necessarily meme-ish. We had airplanes, those weren't very meme-ish. And then almost everything else was memeable. Planes were memeable, but they were more lifelike than the other things. We got shopping carts. I don't think I've ever seen a shopping cart vehicle in any other battle royale. We got quad crashers. Those were amazing. ATKs, ballers. Those were annoying to deal with, but ridiculously fun to drive in. We got hoverboards. What else? Of course, we got mechs. I'm not counting those. And yeah, that was really the extent. We got 6 vehicles, 5 of them being just fun to use. This season, or in this chapter, vehicle wise, we got boats at the start, helicopters in season 2, cars in season 3. Season 4, we got no vehicles. Season 5, planes were re-added and then taken out, but you know, also helicopters were vaulted. I'm not counting either of those though as a point update. Season 6. You know what? No, chapter 1 had 7 because it had zip lines. Chapter 2, no zip lines. Well, no, it did have zip lines, but it's just chapter 1, but changed. Season 6, we had a bunch of zip lines connected to one place, but no real vehicles added. Season 7, we had UFOs. Those were awesome. In Season 8, we've had a bunch of vehicles re-added, like shopping carts and ATKs and brutes. But overall, Chapter 1 was better for vehicles. It added in a lot that are coming back now, and also had just a lot more fun ones to use than Chapter 2. Like Chapter 2 you can have fun moments. You can. But it's just hard. Freaking boats. Like boosting around on land with a boat was fun, but then they nerfed them and added gas to them, which sucked. Choppers. Those were like planes. They were fun to drive, annoying to deal with, unless it was like a solos game in which they were easy to deal with and they were fun. So choppers were alright. Boats were alright until they got nerfed. Choppers were alright until they got vaulted. Cars were very fun at the start, and I do feel like it's a really cool mechanic to have to refuel it. It adds in like, oh, am I gonna make it to the storm circle? Or no, am I gonna make it to the circle? Or oh, am I able to outrun these people before I like freaking run out of gas? So yeah, it definitely adds like a bit of suspense to stuff. It adds a lot of fun, but there was just so much more fun. Like which okay, question for you guys. Which sounds more like funny to like encounter? Either a car driving straight down the highway at you. Actually, no, that I can't. I'm struggling to think of something funny to do. Okay, a boat just sliding around on land, just freaking like, oh yes, I'm a car. Hello there. Or you're just walking down like a random grassy path, and then you hear a noise. You look up and you just see this guy on a shopping cart hurling down a mountain. Overall, I believe that the shopping cart would win. So yeah, I feel like Chapter 1 had more fun vehicles, and it definitely had a lot more vehicles. Chapter 2 has had some pretty good vehicles. I just feel like Chapter 1 had better. And I don't know what happened here. 2 game modes. I'll do the first one. Game modes. This, I believe, is very important to consider in this debate. Game modes basically shape like the battle royale where people they're the battle royale where people go when they're sick and tired of regular battle royale. Chapter 2 had some pretty good ones. It had Knockback. That was fun. Freaking Super Smash Brothers Fortnite edition. It had the Marvel one. Marvel Marvel battles with freaking superpowers. Those were ridiculously fun. The floor heal Fresh and Laser Beams Super Knockback Tournament. That as a regular game mode would be ridiculously fun, and I do believe it has been a regular game mode. And it's just so much so much fun flying around with the flint knocks. Also, excuse me, I'm sorry. But yeah, flying around with flint knocks all the way across the map. So much fun. So, Chapter 2 has had pretty good game modes. It also had imposters, which is pretty fun. It has imposters, which is pretty fun. Now, Chapter 1 introduced a lot of fan favorites, like Sniper One Shot, or that's a favorite amongst friends of mine, but one that I've seen favorited by a bunch of YouTubers, Floor is Lava. So many people enjoy that game mode. And honestly, it's a really unique one. It's really cool. So yeah, that was cool. It focused so much more in chapter 1 and early chapter 2 on what other people made. And like they're trying to like focus more on people's creations, like with the discovery tab in Fortnite now. They're trying to be like, "Hey, look at what all these people are doing." But I feel like actually no, it wasn't better back then. I do believe that it was not better in the sense of, spreading people's maps, like fan creations, stuff like that. But it was better at just, bringing a fun time. Because they would be like, okay, yeah, sure, incentivizing people to play game modes for rewards might make it monotonous, but if it's a fun game mode that they're making us play, then sure, make us do it. That's so much fun. And it means that we're going to have a bunch of people to play with as well. Freaking back in season 8 or season 9, one of the two, there was this one skateboard game mode where you would get on a hoverboard and just. Oh, wait, no, you wouldn't get on a hoverboard. You would get slippery feet and you would slide down like this freaking city map. It's basically like a square. You go like that, and then you restart by launching all the way back up. And there's a bunch of secret paths you could take, a bunch of locations that you could get to, a bunch of secrets that you could find, and everything that you did would unlock new styles to a back bling. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna open up. Actually, should I open up Fortnite? It could slow my computer down. I have the rewards, like a bunch of early rewards for the back bling. I lost a lot in the middle because I stopped playing, season 9, season X, chapter 2, season 1. I stopped playing then. But I got the rewards, a lot of the rewards after and a lot of the rewards before. And that was fun. But yeah, overall, I'm gonna admit this. I have to say, although that specific game mode holds a very high place in my heart, Chapter 2 does it better. Chapter 1 did introduce a few really great ones, but I feel like Chapter 2's like definitely improving, you know, availability of game modes. They're bringing like twist game modes that are like familiar but different. Stuff like that. They're, making game like a bunch of game modes like Chapter 1 did based off of what people like. Freaking laser beam likes knockback and launch items, and a lot of other people do too. Let's do that as a game mode. Yeah, Chapter 2. This is a tough battle, but I believe Chapter 2 is better. Now, I do remember what this one was supposed to be, and it goes straight to Chapter 1. And this category is slightly rigged in favor to boost Chapter 1 up. There is. It kind of just has to be. This is unlike any of the other categories in the fact that it is. Well, actually, you know what? It's very similar to this category in the fact that it examines personal biases. This category goes under the name of fun. Yeah, Chapter 1 was just fun, more fun. That doesn't mean it's the better chapter. Nowhere near does that mean it. But I'm just saying, you could get so much better experiences in Chapter 1 than in Chapter 2. The experiences in Chapter 1, and I have to admit, early Chapter 2, were so much better than, like, more recent Chapter 2. Only in Chapter 1 could you roam the map and find, like, a level 100 Battle Pass user who sees you and are like, hey, wanna be friends? Chapter 2, you'll freaking come across. I don't even know how to, like, freaking explain it. Somebody wearing just regular no skin, and the moment they see you, welp. There's almost no chances to do like really fun stuff. For example, really early in the video, I mentioned another video that I made that was a challenge video. That was for the YouTube channel Kobe's Shorts. Now, brief description of him. He has a main channel, but I don't believe he posts on it nearly like at all. He mostly posts on his Shorts channel. That channel, he posted a challenge video. I completed the challenge because I thought it would be fun, and it was fun. And that's how this entire thing happened. But something about that. He posted a video very recently about him getting in a mech and trying to make a friend with somebody. He would get in the driver's seat and do like high five or bear hug. And he went through multiple games where they would see him standing still, emoting, being like, come here, be my friend. And they would just. It took him until like the third clip, which doesn't even necessarily mean the third game. It just means, oh, on this third clip that I'm going to show you, they finally were like, yeah, I'm alright with being friends. And it's kind of sad. I know that we're not going to be able to go back to chapter 1. Like all of this other stuff that was chapter 1 based. Like the vehicles we had, the classic weapons, all the classic POIs, the old way of map changes. But and like the map was a good map. It was an amazing map. The chapter 2 map is, I have to say, better, but the Chapter 1 map was a good map. And I do wish we could go back to it. And I just know that we can't. But there's a lot more than just the map that we're not able to go to in Chapter 1. Like back in Chapter 2, in Chapter 2, there's a lot more that we're not able to go back to that was in Chapter 1. Not just limited to vehicles or weapons or the map, but also to fun. We are never going to have the same type of fun that we had in Chapter 1. There's a 90% chance that we're never going to have it. That's because we're evolving. That's what we do. That's what humans do. We evolve. Our sense of fun evolves. But something about me is that I get really caught up in the past. And that goes to show in the sense that I wish that we could go back to the fun type that we could have in Chapter 1, where you could frickin' conga across the map and nobody, well, no, not nobody, but there would be people that you could find in games, not that rare, that would just come up to you and either join you or protect you. And you would just be the freaking conga squad dancing bananas going to finish the game. Get a victory royale by freaking dancing. You're dancing. There's people that start shooting at you, and other people start shooting at them because they like how you're dancing. And nowadays, you freaking walk through an empty field and you're at risk of dying. You stand still for a second to wave at somebody, they're trying to shoot you in the face. And I'm not saying that you can't find people that are like they were in Chapter 1. Just in Chapter 7, not Chapter 7, Chapter 2, Season 6, 7, Chapter 2, Season 7. I made a friend in Holly, played the game all the way to retail, and met him again, and me, a new friend that he made, and two other people got in a UFO and just started dancing. We got the last guy, and then we just danced until the last circle closed in and killed all of us except Dark Superman. There's just a special type of fun that you get from playing like it's Chapter 1. But most people don't play that way. Most people play as it's Chapter 2, because it is. And sometimes I do wish that it wasn't. No, a lot of the times I do wish it wasn't. Not because Chapter 2 isn't a good season, but because Chapter 1 was just more fun in the sense of meeting random people. But yeah, both seasons are amazing. Let's just see. Across. Map changes first season, last season, POIs, gameplay, weapons, vehicles, game modes, and fun levels. Which chapter wins? Chapter 2. Chapter 2 by 5%. Actually, no, it's not technically 5%, but Chapter 2 wins. Oh, I made map 50? I thought I made it 100. I guess that's more fair, actually. That just means that it's even more fitting that Chapter 2 won. Because freaking. Oh, wait, what? Did I not? Question mark? Okay, wait. Map changes was broken. Okay, wait. Wait a second. Map changes was broken, guys. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to fix it. I'm not exactly sure how much of an effect that would have had. Can I not move this anymore? What the frick? That's an alternate tab, dude. Well, it's very close, honestly. And that just goes to show. We all talk about, oh, chapter 1 was so much better than chapter 2. But honestly, chapter 2 isn't bad. We just perceive it to be bad because we lived in chapter 1. We were like, I believe it comes down to fun. I'm gonna alter this. So it's this one that was broken. Time to lag out my computer. There we go. But yeah, overall, I guess it's just the fact that I feel like all of us are just nostalgic for the sense of fun that we could have had. Actually, now that I think about it, and I don't believe this is going to change anything, I believe that fun was supposed to be events. But honestly, actually, I feel like that kind of just secures Chapter Two's victory. Because although one of them was broken, this one was broken. I do believe that Chapter 1 was 100% more fun than Chapter 2, but I was striving to not have bias in my quiz. And that's why I wanted to make the last one events. The reason I thought it was fun was because I pondered making fun a question. But I changed it out for events, and then whatever happened happened, and it became that, and I thought it was fun. Basically, chapter 1 was definitely more fun than chapter 2 in my opinion. But that's bias. So let's not count that, and let's friggin' change it to events. And if you think about it, chapter 2, okay, chapter 1 events were freaking awesome. But chapter 2 takes a different approach. It takes quality over quantity. That's the right term. We have had 4 major events. One of them was more like a cinematic that we got to play through. You know what? I'm gonna change my screen share to Fortnite because it's loading up. There you go. Okay. Ta-da! Oh, music. Ah, ah. Turn my computer music down. There we go. Actually, I haven't seen the Adam Show. But yeah, the events were definitely better. Like chapter 1 events, we got a rocket. Today's time, it would be very underwhelming. Like, okay, so basically we can compare the rocket event in Fortnite to This is like a more modern. I'm taking actually music is probably not as loud for you guys. Basically, you can take the rocket event from Fortnite and compare it to freaking Warzone events because they are more popular nowadays, I believe. But basically, Warzone events, people are seriously underwhelmed by them, as far as I've heard, like on YouTube and stuff like that. So like, I believe there's been like two major events. One of them was just a freaking game mode, and then after everyone died, a cinematic played of a place getting nuked. And then the other one, you blew up a train, and then a cinematic played, and then you got nuked by planes. And then it turned out that it was a freaking advertisement for the new game coming out. So the rocket event was basically a Warzone event. Well, I clicked off and then it clicked back on. I'm sorry. Music restart. Anyway, rocket event, Warzone event. The cube, again, like it was this time in this season, would be underwhelming nowadays. Same thing for Kevin or Kevin Lake or Thanos Lake or whatever you want to call it. Now, the freaking cube exploding event, that was awesome. That would that would be like the first really good event. Then we had the Ice King event, again underwhelming. We had the unvaulting, awesome, monster, awesome, and the freaking end event, which was basically just a revamped for a newer time rocket event, but it was still awesome. So that's four events that were pretty good. One of them we got sent, two of them we got sent to another reality. The other two we stayed on the map. Well, one of them we actually got sent off the map onto this map, but still. Now, chapter 2. One event we got sent to another reality multiple times as the storm frickin' changed in front of our eyes. One of them, a being thousands of times larger than the Fortnite map, appeared on the map, and like we had to like strain our necks upward to see him. That was epic. Just even seeing him near the map was awesome. The cinematic, eh, in my opinion, eh. Like thinking back on it, eh. And then the season 7 event, that was epic, absolutely epic. So I do believe chapter 2 would have actually won that one still. Even though it had 3 in comparison to chapter one's 4, these 4, all of these ones sent us to new locations. This one sent us to a freaking office area, this one sent us into space, and this one sent us into the freaking mother of all UFO ships. Over here, we have White Dimension, White Dimension, Fortnite map. In comparison, just the events this chapter are a lot better than they were chapter 1. So chapter 2 would have won that, therefore securing the fact that overall chapter 2 was just a better chapter. I'm gonna exit out of this now. But yeah, again, if you guys have opinions that you would like to share, please tell me what your opinions are on all of the questions and if you would make any different ones than what I did. Now, one last thing I want to get onto. I saw this as a comment, and it's actually what really inspired me to make the video right now, the moment that I've made it. Let me see. I'm going to load up a replay for this. But basically, Well, if it's gonna freaking load, then I'll start talking. Still loaded. There we go. Decline. That's a lot of that. No, I want to see that one. Okay, I'll do this one. But basically, after this loads, I've been stalling on this point for a long time. But if you look at the date today, it's the freaking 23rd of November, dude. We've got 12 days left on this map. And throughout it all, it's just going to be becoming more and more different. More and more places are going to be changing to the freaking reddish hue, orangish reddish hue of the bad people. I'm going to go here. Well, another loading screen. But as time goes on, this map's going to change. Over these next 12 days, this map is going to change. Already, I think a POI is almost entirely consumed by the frickin' orange here. I'm gonna check after I start flying around. What's like here? Trying to remember how to do settings. Replay region off. Okay. How do I put this down? There we go. But basically, there's a lot that's gonna be gone after all this. You can see the corruption slowly spreading. I'm flying faster now. But eventually it's gonna spread to freaking awesome locations like freaking this. Let me get rid of all this. This place is gonna be gone. I didn't know what that was. Yeah, like I don't think we acknowledge this map enough for what it is. We all just kind of think, oh, this is a cool map, I guess, but Chapter 1's better. But really, was it? Was Fortnite Chapter 1 a better map? I have to agree with the fact that it was a good map. We made so many memories along the way. But then, like, the Chapter 2 map, I can just, like, fly in here and then make, like, one of the greatest shots in, like, Fortnite. Just look at this. Get launched out. Oops. But yeah, just soaring underneath the bridge. Just to soar down the lake. And then this map is freaking beautiful, and we don't acknowledge that. It's been beaten up hard and freaking like stabbed multiple times. And we're just kind of like, oh yeah, this is the map, okay. We don't appreciate it. And the thing is, that's also something we didn't do in chapter 1. We didn't really appreciate the map until we had lost it. We have this map for 12 more days, and then it's gone. All of this. Let's stay in the blue area. All of it will be gone. We have like freaking amazing POIs on this map as well. And people are just gonna be like, oh, bring back chapter 2, because that's what we did for chapter 1. And I said that I'm not gonna miss this map. At one point, I did actually say that. But when you really think about it, you come to find that that's just a lie. We are going to miss this map, no matter what. It's a lost memory. It's going to be. Actually, no, it's not going to be a lost memory. It's going to be a memory that we're never going to be able to have again. So what I advise is just to make the most out of this memory. Visit some of the awesome places on this map, because there are some pretty cool ones. And eventually, there's going to come a time where you're just not able to see them. The waterfalls, freaking the awesome jump from the dam. Like, who, in all honesty, comes all the way over here and just takes a good look over the map? This is an honest view you can have in a regular game. I don't feel like anybody really... I feel like there's a very small amount of people who've actually had this view. You can see freaking everything from here. Steamy from one corner. You can freaking see coral over there. You can see every corner of the map from this one location. And then the only reason people land up here is just for the early drop, and then they slide on down the mountain, go down there, loot up. So then maybe head here, get more loot, get cars, drive down to Lazy Lake, maybe down to Misty if it's in the zone, and then just follow the circle all the way. We don't appreciate the map for what it is. We just think, oh, play Battle Royale, do the battle, finish and get the Royale. But we don't stop to acknowledge it. So for those who have made it this far in the video, just take the time and go to places that you're probably going to miss. Because there are places. There are 100% places. Nobody, whoops, that was weird, don't know how that happened. Anyway, nobody's able to say that they're just not gonna miss Lazy. This is the tilted of the map. This and Pleasant are the freaking tilted of the map. And sure, they could just not get rid of Pleasant. They didn't get rid of it for chapter 2. Why would they get rid of it for chapter 3? But they could. They honestly could. We were like, why would they get rid of the chapter 1 map? Why? Well, we need refreshments. And we've freaking had Pleasant for 2 chapters. That's longer than freaking half of the, like 9/10 of the POI that have been in this game. We haven't had for more than 2 chapters. So who's to say that those are going to be any different and we're just going to, have them into chapter 3? We could lose Pleasant. We could lose Retail. We could freaking lose Risky. We could lose them all. Or maybe we'll have like one POI, one or two from chapter 1, 2 or 3 from chapter 2, and everything else is new. Because that would fit with what Epic does. And it doesn't even have to be like a regular chapter 1 POI, like that's already in chapter 2. It could be any chapter 1 POI, not one of the ones that are only in chapter 2. But yeah, I'm stretching this out way too long. This has been like a 15-minute outro. But yeah, guys, spend the time. I'm gonna finish this off. Spend the time to remember the map. All of the memories that you've had. Because we've had them. We've had so many memories. Like, we've had the grotto. Freaking. This is probably one of the most memorable spots in the game. It's changed every season. We had a small island that became the agency, then the authority, then the ruins, then the freaking 0 point, the spire, then the, what was it called? The aftermath. Then the convergence, and now the pyramid. All of it's changed. Pleasant went through multiple changes. Frickin' Boney used to be salty. Believer used to be sweaty. Holly's now frickin' torn up from the aliens. Same thing by frickin' Sludgy and Coral. These places are changing. And we have had good memories, but yeah. Overall, have good times, guys. We have less than a fortnight left here. So make the most out of it. Most of all, just have a good time. If you're not having a good time in the game, well, I had the game going, but still, if you're not having a good time, find something else to do. Go for it. But if you really want to remember this, then we should probably do something to make it worth remembering. I have no clue what that could be, honestly. But we could find something. I bet that as a community we could find something. I know I'm not going to be getting out there to the people. But as a community, I do believe we can find something to make this last fortnight of Fortnite, Chapter 2, rememberable for the rest of the frickin' game. And possibly even beyond it. Till like it's frickin' shut down and only spoken about like, hey, you remember that game Fortnite? We could make a frickin' amazing memory here. We just gotta decide what we want it to be. And as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, peace.